Hola, mis amigos. Hello, everyone. I am cooking, and I've done a few cooking videos. Not a whole lot, but I'm gonna cover some cooking today, and specifically cooking while living in Bogota, or Usiquén more specifically. But look at this good-looking stuff here, guys. A friend of mine calls this poor man's food. It's probably gonna gross you guys out. But, you know, I have never cooked this stuff before, but I don't get grossed out. I'm interested in foods. And this here, we'd call this the gizzard. And I've ate the gizzards before, and I'm like, what in the world? Wasn't really excited about it, but I read some recipes on the stuff. But also, I've got livers and all. This is the throat, not the gizzard. I don't know what the gizzard is. The gizzard the throat? But I've got livers and... Look at this guy. This is what grosses people out. That's the chicken feet. The chicken feet has a lot of meat in it, or a lot of skin, and it's the best, honestly, the best thing to cook. If you want to get a good broth and cook a soup, you just cook these for hours and hours, and then it just falls right off the bone. And then you just kind of cut that up, and it's just kind of like the broth, the chicken soup. So if you buy Camel's chicken soup, they use a lot of this kind of stuff, the feet and the cheap food, the throat, the gizzard, I guess this is called the gizzard. The same thing for the gizzard. The bones just kind of fall off, and you got the good meat. That's good meat. What I want to talk to you guys about real quick is something interesting. So I cooked a batch of this stuff, and I got the meat, and it's probably just like a good handful, or 2 good handfuls of really good rich meat, and then you had the broth. So I extracted all the meat, and I was left with the broth, and I had 2 big cups, and not say big cups, but pretty good sized cups of the broth. I boiled it down, and I want to show you guys this. This here, it's a little colorized, right, because of the chicken meat color, but it looks like jello, right? It looks like a texture like jello. Well, guess what? Jello, 100%, is when they take the bones and the cartilage of animals and they just boil it down, boil it down, boil it down, and guess what they get? They get the gelatin. This is what they call the bone broth gelatin, and that is 100% tastes like jello. Like it almost tastes like a chicken soup jello is what it tastes like, because it still has a chicken flavor. So they will remove the chicken soup with like an acid, the chicken flavoring, and make it white with like an acid bleach. So that removes the coloring. But this is 100% jello. The first jello was actually made with this stuff. And then what they done, and I'm making potato soup over here with chicken, by the way. So, sorry for my bad kitchen, but when I'm in the middle of cooking, it's not going to be clean. But yeah, what they do, the first jello is actually made from concentrated lemonade, cooked. They would make when it's still the broth and not gelatin. When it's hot, it's like a liquid. So they would make it like a lemonade broth and sugar. And then they had lemon jello, and that became real popular. And then whoever that genius was that came up with that mixture started making it commercially, and now you see it all over the world. Jello is a very, very popular food item, and most people think that Jello doesn't have any nutritional value whatsoever, but this stuff here is basically gelatin or collagen. Is actually what it is. It's 100% collagen mixed with water. The collagen is a liquid when it's hot, but then when it cools down, it starts to reform its structure, and so it's cartilage is the same, made out of this stuff. So Jello is 100%. If it didn't have the sugar and flavoring, is 100% protein and water. Collagen is a protein. So people that say that Jello doesn't have any nutritional value are completely wrong. Jello is very good for you to eat. It's good for your bones. It's good for your cartilage. It's just good for you all around. So that's my video. I want to tell y'all guys, it's kind of gross. Yeah, that's the real deal. It came from cooking this, and then the liquid, and then you let the liquid cool down, and that's it. It's Jello. It's literally like, oh shucks. But yeah, look at it real close. That's 100% the same.